other game I see him play versus Terran, he's playing 2-base carrier. Whereas when I see Best play, I don't think I ever see him pull that out. So that may just be a stylistic advantage. It is going to be Eclipse, and it's going to be Best versus Speed, aka 10-minute Flash, to kick us off in Group C. Alrighty, guys. In the top right, we have our red Protoss player. It is Best. And in the bottom left, Speed, but you know him as 10-minute Flash, one of the heroes of the ladder these days. Now, Eclipse, tell me a little bit about TVP in this particular map scan.
So Eclipse is a 2-player map, and quite a lot of Protoss players like to go with early Probe Scout and doing either Proxy Gate or Gas Steal or any kinds of crazy stuff in the beginning, or they can do a little bit of a mind game that a lot of Terran players are expecting Protoss players to send out the probe quickly. So Terran players has so many options to defend against it. Either sending out the ESCV before Supply Depot finishes to whether it's gonna be Proxy Gate, or some Terran players like to give up the gas and just either go for gasless expand. But it looks like we are gonna be seeing Best is gonna go for Pylon Scout, and Heroes Speed is not going to send out any SCV at the center of the map and see where the probe is coming from.
So luckily for Speed this game, there's going to be no proxy gates. It's such a strong build on a map like Eclipse. This probe is going to come in time and most likely get a gas steal. Let's see if the SCV can buy enough time. Oh, it almost moved out of position. Really nice control from that SCV, yet the probe does manage to sneak in. Okay, take that as a loss. So more than likely this is going to be a gasless expand follow-up. Now behind this we see that Best is probably not. Is he going to go for the gas, you think?
Yeah, he will. Okay, we can see on the minimap that he just took the gas, and it looks like Speed is just gonna go with a second Supply Depot really fast, and also scouting at the bottom side. Looks like he's also checking whether this is gonna be the proxy gate. He has to build a second barracks, but it looks like he did not see any of a proxy gate at the center of the map, so he will not make a second barracks here.
Now on Best side of the map, I am paying close attention to what he's doing. It looks like it is going to be a Nexus follow-up. There's still no gas on his side of the map. And that means that Speed is probably going to eBay block this natural. He does not want to let this Nexus go up for free. Probe is going to be pushed out of the main, and there is that eBay block. So this is going to be a bit annoying for Best. I wonder if he'll try and build a Nexus somewhere else, or if he'll just use his next Zealot that pops out to slowly kill this eBay. There is that second Zealot. Meanwhile, first, make sure that this Zealot doesn't do too much damage. The bunker's not done yet.
And there's going to be the second SCV blocking. Maybe not blocking, and the bunker will be finished. But looks like one of the Zealot will sneak inside of the main base. But right now, Speed really has to make a decision here, because the second Zealot will arrive in the next couple seconds, and he really needs to clear this first Zealot before the second Zealot comes.
Yeah, it is so crucial to get rid of that Zealot before the second one comes, as you mentioned. Gas has been taken down. Speed hasn't built it just yet, though. Meanwhile, I do see that Nexus did go down already for Best. Also, the command center has started. So pretty mirrored build so far. Overall, this Zealot has not done that much damage, but as you mentioned, second Zealot is in the natural. It's going to be quite annoying if it can kit that SCV building the command center.
Yeah, it looks like the second Zealot will be buying some time, delaying that second command center as much as he can. It looks like the first Zealot inside of the Terran's main base looks like it will go down soon. So most likely, Best is gonna let Speed to take the second command center and pull that second Zealot to defend the second scout from the Terran.
Zealot does get taken down. Of course, not a big deal that it gets taken down, because really what is about to have 100 gas. I see a secondary scout on the left side of the map, more than likely looking for potential proxy robotics. Nice control on the Zealot to deny entry into the main. Now, it is always kind of scary to see 2 gateways go up and not get into the main, and that's the exact reason, because there's a Citadel behind this. And since he was denied for so long, he has no idea where the range has even been started.
Yeah, Speed will have to guess whether this is gonna be the robotic facility opening or either gun range opening, or Chosen going with a Citadel of Adun, and so this is most likely gonna be a Dark Templar opening. It looks like there's gonna be another SCV and not letting it to get inside of his main base.
Well, this is also just be sitting there and waiting. So this could already be a tip-off for Speed that, hey, he needs to get an eBay down ASAP. Also, he saw the gas at the natural. Now, I personally don't think that's a big tell, because Best delayed his gas for so long. He needs to catch up in gas a little bit. There is the eBay, so it looks like the timing is going to be perfect. We also saw Speed put down a starport, so it looks like he wants to go for some vulture harassment.
Yeah, it looks like Speed is going to go with 2 Factory 1 starport opening, and Best is building the Templar Archon. Going to be the 2 Dark Templar drop inside of a Terran's main base, but drop once again after the first Dark Templar drop.
Now that Goon, I think, saw the first Vulture move out, and that was a crucial scout for Best, because to build a Vulture at this point in the game is quite unusual. And then into his main to make sure something like a drop, Vulture run by, doesn't get in there, and that, oh, does he see the shuttle? He does see it. Of course, he doesn't know what's in it, but he may think that this is a Reaver drop.
Yeah, he has seen there's a flying shuttle with the 2 Zealot at the Protoss Natural, so if he has opened with the Reaver opening, the Protoss plays the Reavers in it and go for the drop, but looks like he's also gonna go for counter drop with the dropship soon.
Well, this could be bad news for Speed if his tanks are slightly out of position. He's going to fly in. If those DTs drop directly onto the turret, there's no scans. Wow, I'm surprised that he didn't just go for it. Bottom side really doesn't have much defense, so he is going to be annoying to deny this depot at the bottom, but his hand has been shown. This is going to be fast tech for Best. Now, in the main of his, we didn't see whether Stargate and Arbiter Tribunal is going up, but I think it probably is being rushed.
Yeah, it looks like that raid has been made. He probably thought it was a Reaver opening, but this is Dark Templar opening. Dark Templar dropped by Best, and it looks like he has to rebuild all those supply depot that he has lost, and it looks like he's gonna be dropping 2 Vultures at the Best's natural. And will he be able to do some mine bomb there? Looks like not. And Arbiter Tribunal being made.
Look at that SimCity actually backfiring a little bit. Traffic damage, but decent damage. Meanwhile, that DT drop, even though I don't think it got, we see instant 4th and 5th factory. Meanwhile, probes had to be escorted, or Speed did confirm that this is Stargate play. There's also a decent amount of gateways, so it looks like he's going to try and go for a timing before the Arbiters actually pop out. But Arbiter Tribunal's already done, so I don't know how successful he's going to be with that. Oh!
Accidentally stepping on a spider mine, but not losing too much of a probe by the harassment by a Terran earlier. And it looks like he's also picking up a couple of 2 Vultures and a 1 tank inside of the dropship. Oh, Dark Templar is still alive inside of Speed's main base.
Yeah, he doesn't know that. And I think this is a 7 fact actually. Is that correct? No, it is a 6 fact. Either way, that's going to be a lot of units coming out from Speed, but unfortunately for him, no third bit actually pushed through what Best has. You can see there's about a 20 supply advantage, but Arbiter is going to be popping out within, I think, the next 30 seconds or so.
I do agree. The Arbiter most likely is going to pop out soon, but looks like the dropship is trying to distract the Best's attention at the 12 o'clock, and meanwhile he's also pushing forward, but that dropship is buying quite a lot of time, but there's not much of an army at the front line. Looks like all those 4 tanks will get picked up by the Dragoons. That is definitely not going to be a happy decision making by Speed.
Yeah, the army is going to get cleaned up. Meanwhile, this tank is also going to get taken down. Doesn't look like it dealt that much damage. And with this attack denied, Speed is in a ton of trouble. There's no way a follow-up attack is going to end up working. I think now he's kind of obligated to just give these bases to Best, accept the fact that Best is just going to have Arbiter and should consider taking a 3rd base for himself. maybe continue to use a dropship to try and do a little bit of harassment. But this incoming 6-fact attack, it is not going to work at all.
Yeah, it looks like Speed does not have much of a tank count, so he cannot really go for the timing attack now, and it looks like he has to turtle a bit here and using a couple of Speed Vultures, and it looks like will he be okay. He's not picking up any probes yet. It looks like he'll be taking a single cannon and finally picking some of the probes here.
Yeah, he's doing a decent amount of damage to the probe line. The problem is that Arbiter's already out, and Best still has a lot of army, and to use 10 Vultures to just harass a mineral line when a Protoss already has, you know, a big supply advantage, it's 50 supply, Best could really just do one more cycle and just move this Terran player, especially since he has stasis available in the next few seconds. So I'm a bit worried for Speed over utilizing his Vultures while getting minimal returns. You can see he built a 3rd command center in his base, so he's got his eyes set on taking mid left. But Best is one of those people that loves to just bust you, and I think that
Best is not moving. Okay, looks like he's sending a couple, one Zealot at the 5 o'clock. Looks like he really wants to take the 4th Nexus before he starts to do some of a timing attack by Best. But looks like I don't know whether this is gonna be either a stasis field or recall move by Best. And it looks like once again he's getting a little bit of a harassment at 12 o'clock. And finally, a couple of Dragoons are clearing all the spider mines at the map. It looks like he's moving forward.
this is just so much Protoss right now. And remember, Protoss should have one stasis here. Here he comes. He's just bulldozing through all of the mines. This is what Best loves to do. Looks like there's a decent clump of tanks there. He catches one Vulture and two tanks. And look at the Zealots just flooding in through the back. Still a 50 supply lead for Best. And I don't think that Speed is really going to be able to hold on here.
Yeah, look at the backline. More Zealots are incoming right now, and not much of a siege tank remaining. I don't think Speed can hold this push. Not much of a siege tank remaining. Only a single tank on the high ground, but it will get picked up by the Dragoon.
Yeah, now it's just pure Vultures versus like 10 Goons and incoming Zealots. Best, he's one of the best players at reinforcing his actual army. You can see that the Zealots, they just keep flooding across the map. Now he's breached the main. And this is going to be Speed going down in a quick game one, going over to Best. But as I say that, tanks have become unstasis in the back. Can they save the day? Looks like the answer is no.
Yeah, looks like the second Arbiter just came. Does he have enough energy to use another stasis field? If he has enough energy, he's gonna be using that stasis field on the ramp. Oh, never mind, he's not using the stasis field on the ramp. Yeah, only.
Yeah, D-Matrix is gonna buy a bit of time. Look at the SCV block on the natural. It's doing work, but there's just simply not enough for Speed. Maybe he holds on right now, but he has taken so many losses. Meanwhile, behind this, Best has taken bottom right, so he's gonna be on 4 bases. Looks like the command center floated to mid left. So he's going to try and get that up and running, but you know Best is not going to allow that to happen. Looks like the SCV line has taken a bit of losses too. Still a 60 supply lead for Best. Yeah.
Finally, Speed realized that a floating command center is a bit vulnerable, so he's going to be pulling back and wait for the number of a siege tank count to be restored. And finally, Best has saturated the 4th Nexus at the 5 o'clock. Looks like if the game goes longer, this is not going to be happy for Speed because
these Vultures from getting into that 4th base. Best has complete map control, so I wouldn't be surprised to see another Nexus going up at top middle anytime soon. 2-1 is done for Speed, so he's got powerful upgrades, but when you're down 60 supply and you don't have critical mass tanks, look at the Vultures. There's so many Vultures and there's only 3 tanks. There's no way he can kill these Goons. The Arbiter may have another stasis available.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna be flanking all those army. And not much of a Vultures remaining. All those Vultures got killed by the Zealots. And yeah, the supply count by Speed is definitely not looking great.
He has just the best macro in PvP. He's just got so many units. If you ever miss a beat versus this guy, he will run you over. The Vulture harassment, I liked it, but it just didn't get the damage done that Speed was looking for. I think the 6-fact was kind of at an awkward timing. It seemed like a reaction to what he scouted, and it really just did not work out for him. It's a bit unlucky for Speed there. But it looks like he is going to be playing that upgrade style. So if we do see a rematch, I think Best should keep that in the back of his mind.
Yeah, unfortunately, Speed has prepared for 2 Factory 1 starport opening with the Vulture harassment into a dropship. But, however, Best has prepared for the Dark Temper drop, and he probably did not expect that it was coming. He did not have an academy. It wasn't even started.
Yeah, a lot of Terran players these days try to be as greedy as possible, whether it's skipping Comsat or skipping turrets, and the DT drop really threw a wrench into Speed's plan. Even though the DTs didn't kill many SCVs, killed a lot of depots, we are going to be going into a quick commercial break.
관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다.
봄꽃이 만개한 4월의 첫 번째 주말 역시 ASL 시즌 11과 시청하고 계실 시청자 여러분들을 위해 준비된 이벤트 안내해드리도록 하겠습니다. 자, 먼저 ASL 공식 방송국에서 진행되는 ASL입니다. 24강에 출전하는 선수들에게 궁금한 점을 댓글로 남겨주시면 저희가 선정을 통해 ASL 텀블러 보내드리도록 하겠습니다. 자, 또 하나의 이벤트는 아프리카 게이밍 e스포츠 SNS를 통해 진행되는데요. 3위 라운드에 진출할 것 같은 선수를 좋아요와 댓글로 남겨주시면 정답자 중 2분을 추첨해서 저희가 ASL 텀블러 보내드리도록 하겠습니다. 여러분의 많은 참여를 부탁드리겠습니다. 자, 오늘의 첫 번째 경기에서는 고재욱 선수가 승리를 거뒀는데요. 과연 승자전에서 고재욱 선수를 만날 선수는 누가 될지 오늘의 두 번째 경기 김성대 선수와 정영재 선수의 경기 만나보시죠.
This should be a really good matchup. Action, he's a beast in ZVT. Now JYJ, I think from my experience watching him, seems like he's very strong versus Terran and Protoss. But what do you think about his TVZ matchup? Can he go toe-to-toe with somebody like Action?
Action's point of view, I think he has quite a lot of various of a playstyle. Sometimes he plays aggressive, sometimes he plays a bit passive into a macro game, and quite a lot of people are knowing him as a Defiler master. He's really good at a late game using Defiler and using so much of a Darkstorm at the left side, right side, top side, bottom side, everywhere, and defending all those Terran's harassment.
Yeah, Action is just absolutely nuts in TVZ or ZVT. I mean, there was a game of him versus Flash from a couple years ago. It was on the reverse fighting spirit map, the one with the blue tile set, and it's one of the best Zerg versus Terrans I've seen. Action ended up falling there, but he put up a masterful showing. He was going toe-to-toe in the macro. So I think if JYJ goes late game versus Action, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. Looking at statistics here, it looks like not a big sample size for JYJ, just 11 or 17 games in total. Last season, as I mentioned before, he knocked out Bisu, so we know his TVP is strong, but not too sure about his TVZ. And so we'll see how he fares versus Action. Remember, winner here is going to be facing off versus Best.
If JYJ loses against Action, he will be moving down to a losers match, and I'm wondering what kind of TBT matchup they will be playing on each map. It looks like we're going to be moving into match 2, Eclipse, Action versus JYJ.
Yep, so Eclipse is going to be the map choice again. Let's get into our second match of the day. It is Action versus JYJ. Winner's going to face off versus Best in our winners match. In the bottom left, our red Zerg. It is Action. And in the top right, our blue Terran player. It is JYJ. Now, what do you like on Eclipse? Are you a big fan of the wall?
A natural wall with the 2 supply depot with the single barracks. There's a little bit of a tiny gap that the unit can go through. But if you have a wall at the natural, everything will be slightly faster than the regular time.
Yeah, I tend to go for more tech-based play with having only to build minimal defenses. So there is that depot at the front, going to be barracks at the bottom, and then another depot to basically seal it off. Now, do you expect us to see some tech from JYJ or just bio play? You know, actually a lot of players are going for delayed tech, taking something like an 18 gas after going for their command center. Is that a possibility?
It could be a possibility if he is planning to go with a super fast +1 attack into a 4X, but if I remember correctly of a JYJ playstyle, I do think that he likes to play a bit standard, like 2 Racks Academy. And quite a lot of people think, why are you doing 2 Racks Academy when you have a wall and if you can go with a +1 attack super fast? He really likes to have the range upgrade much quicker than the regular time, so even though he sacrificed not having the +1 attack quickly, he can get the range and the number of Marine and Medic count will be much higher than the +1 attack, so I think he likes to snowball from there.
So we will see what JYJ is going to opt for. Looks like Action is pretty much fast. Pretty fast gas also, and we'll see how he wants to respond as a follow-up. Is he going to go for something like Lurkers? Lurkers are very strong against a wall like this. We already saw earlier someone bust the entrance with a Ling Lurker into barracks. That was the Terran player going Goliath. So we'll wait and see if that's going to be a potential tech path for Action. If JYJ is going to go for heavy tech or the fast upgrades, that gas needs to go down pretty soon.
Yeah, looks like JYJ is building a second barracks. Yeah, looks like this is going to be the 2 Racks Academy opening by Hatchery. So that means he can have that extractor and spawning pool and another scouting build. So he's going to have lots of resource.
Is this an Academy bust or a Marine Medic bust? Because that's a fast gas, but he also has this fast second factory. I think that was an Academy that just got built. Yeah, there it is. So this is going to be an attempted bust from JYJ. He had to cut a little bit there to get all of these buildings up and running. And this will hit before mutas pop out. So JYJ is going to have a little bit of opportunity to either bust the natural, or this could just be intended to bust the third base that you know Action is going to be building pretty soon.
Yeah, I do have a feeling that just by looking at the Academy timing, I have a feeling that he's gonna have either forcing Action to make a couple of Sunkens at the natural and not letting him to make 6 Mutalisks on time. And it looks like Action is not gonna be expanding towards to 8 o'clock. He's sending a drone to 5 o'clock.
Yeah, instead he is going to expand at bottom middle, and that SCV is going to intercept the drone. So already this is an amazing scout for JYJ. He knows exactly where Action's base is going to be, and I think Action actually should send out another drone to mid left, because if JYJ just instantly goes there, that base will be denied, and that's exactly what he's done. The drone is going to leave, but JYJ sees it, so now JYJ knows that
going to be moving out with the 7 Marine, 2 Medic, and reinforcement would be. It was a Marine, okay, it was 2 Marines, and now it's a Firebat. Looks like that Fast Academy, it is actually forcing Action to make the 2 Sunkens at the natural. So will he be able to make 6 Mutalisks on time?
Yeah, the Lings are trying to buy time. The Spire, I think, just finished. So Mutalisks are going to be popping out pretty soon. And now I'm a bit worried for JYJ, because if 5 or 6 Mutalisks pop out, they will start one-shotting these Marines. You can see JYJ recognizes that. So he starts stimming across the map to deny this third base, Drone already canceled the third hatch, so this is a win for JYJ. Now he can just turn around and save these Marines and medics, and really nicely done.
Yeah, that one split Marine will be picking up that drone, and looks like Action has spent quite a lot of money for the Sunkens and all those money that he really does not need it. Finally, he's getting a couple of Mutalisks are being made and flying towards the JYJ's natural. But JYJ will have all those defense ready to defend against those Mutalisk harassment soon.
He had been sitting there and waiting with his entire Marine ball. That could have been 1 or 2 Mutalisks going down for free. Now, this is the annoying part of having a wall, is the Mutalisks can splash the barracks and the depots while taking minimal damage. So we may see JYJ get supply blocked. But it looks like for now, Action just doesn't have the power in the Mutalisks to kind of put enough pressure onto that depot wall. Third racks I saw was going up for JYJ, but what about the factory? I'm not too sure how fast he's teching.
Yeah, I think that could be the factory on the bottom side of the mineral at the main base, and it looks like there is going to be a couple of missile turret. It's going to be defending that 8 Mutalisk harassment.
We gotta be careful with that ledge. The Mutalisks can deal so much damage. You can see a couple Marines end up falling. I did so. That third base being denied for so long is crucial.
Oh no, did I lose connection? Hello, hello.
Oh, you're back.
Something is really wrong with my internet today.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You're on Wi-Fi?
No, I'm using Ethernet.
That's weird. Alright, well, it looks like the Mutalisks and the Marines just kind of went back and forth. You can see that JYJ has not attempted to move out just yet. I can see that the starports should have been started. Yep, there they are. And right now, it's going to be completing very soon. And as I was mentioning, bottom middle, because it was denied for so long, Sunkens are not up there just yet. He may have to hold on with just lurkers if JYJ moves in that direction. I didn't see a hydrant in. Did you?
No, I don't think so. I don't see any of Zerg's building inside of a main base nor natural. He's building quite a lot of Sunkens, and it looks like he's gonna go for the trade. When those M&Ms are moving out at the center, he's gonna be doing some harassment at JYJ's main base.
That was really good control from JYJ, keeping all of his Marines in a ball and not letting them just go single file into death into the Mutalisks. But there are so many Mutalisks, and he keeps engaging on that ramp, keeping the majority of the Marines on the low ground. But did Action overstep? Turrets in the back are dealing a decent amount of damage, but he's picking off so many Marines, so many SCVs. Looks like that Muta count is kind of dwindling. +1 weapon is definitely done by now. JYJ is dealing so much damage to these Mutalisks.
Yeah, JYJ has been defending really well here, and looks like Action is squeezing all of those resources for busting the natural, using a couple of the Zerglings, focus targeting on the missile turrets, and Mutalisks are buying some time when M&Ms are moving down from the ramp.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, those Mutalisks are dealing so much damage to the Marines that are kind of funneling down the ramp, and now, and this might be a game-ending move for that Action just made into JYJ's base. The first couple of vessels have popped up, but you can see that the science facility is still blinking, so Irradiate is not done just yet, but also the vessels need to build up energy. He's just ransacking.
It looks like JYJ does not have much of an energy left on the Matic. Looks like he's giving up that natural. He can't really defend the natural. All those Zerglings and additional Mutalisks with the full HP will be constantly picking up Marine and not letting JYJ to have the M&M ball.
Yeah, and Irradiate just finished, so you can see that the vessels are looking to put one down on that juicy Muta clump. Gotta be very careful. This could be a mistake. Great one. So much damage being taken by those Mutalisks, sending that one irradiated Muta into the Marine ball to deal a little bit of damage. But JYJ losing his natural, oh, he is in a world of hurt.
You're giving up that expansion, and looks like Action is still I think he's gonna commit constantly harassing here, or is he gonna be making sure about this? But looks like JYJ is now stabilized defending this how fast the lurker or hive switches.
Yeah, those are the first couple hydras that just popped out, so Action went really hard with these mutas and lings, and even though JYJ lost his natural, he's not in the worst position because he still lurkers once they get irradiated. So JYJ still has an opportunity. That's the 4th and 5th vessel coming out. As long as he doesn't die to a backstab, I think he may.
I do agree with your opinion, and I think Action does not have the third guess. Yeah, finally he's now putting all those drone inside of the third guess. So Action really needs all those Vespene gas and switching into a late tech, but the number of a science vessel is just way too many.
Yeah, I'm not sure if JYJ realizes his position though, because he just blew 2 irradiates right there, and if he had saved them, he may have been able to bust through this third base. But as I say that, there's only one lurker, and Action realizes that this third base is going to be attacked, so he just gives it up. He's going to go for an instant counterattack. I don't know if there's anything actually in the bunker. Looks like the bunker does have stuff in it, and with repair, I think he can hold this. Oh no, the vessel gets taken. Those SCVs, is there enough Marines to defend?
Yeah, looks like JYJ has sacrificed quite a lot of SCVs at the natural, but he does have quite a lot of workers at the main base. Looks like the observer is pointing out that JYJ has 2-1 upgrade now, so he's any upgrade. This is not looking great.
Yeah, I think JYJ's done it. There's no counter to these vessels. Sure, he's gotten his nat denied forever, but it's fine. He can just transfer those SCVs from his main and start mining there. The main is going to be mined out pretty soon anyways, so it's not a big loss to lose those SCVs. And this bio ball has gone third base. He has no hive. All he does, he just taps out. He gives it up. He realizes he can't deal with the vessels. And this is going to be JYJ moving out and into the winner's match.
Wow. What a great defense by JYJ. I thought it could be the base trade when Action was giving up that third expansion and taking all those JYJ's natural army, and maybe he will be able to climb up to the high ground, but he could not really bust that 2 bunkers with the steam pack. That was really strong. Oh no. 또 끊겼어? Hello.
Hello.
I do not really know what's wrong with this internet today.
Yeah, that's really weird. You just drop for like 10 seconds and then you're back.
Is it working?
Well, nicely done from JYJ. He got his nat breach twice, recovered nicely, and those upgrades, as you mentioned, saved the day going, also the vessels saved the day, of course, but the powerful 2-1 upgrades, allowing the Marines to survive a lot longer than they should, dealing a lot more damage. Last season, he knocked out Bisu, so there's a real chance that JYJ might actually make it out in first place.
JYJ making it to round of 16 as a first player, I do think it might be a possibility because Best and JYJ were in the same team in how many years ago? Maybe like 12 years ago or so. They were in the same team, SK Telecom. So they probably have know each other for so long, and even if different opening to counter against it compared to the other Terran, and let's see how you play.
Yeah, there could be a lot of mind games going on in the series. I know that Best, even though he is pretty much a standard. Alright, we are back. We're going to be getting into our winners match. It's going to be Best versus JYJ. Looks like the map is going to be Ultimate Stream.
Yes,
what do you think about
correct.
this? Yeah, potential. What do you think of PVT on here? We know that you don't like Ascension, but what about Ultimate Stream?
Ultimate Stream is a bit kind of same, or I should say similar concept, just like Ringing Bloom, where both of the players can take the expansion easily, and not much of a rush can be done in the beginning. So I have a feeling either Best is gonna go for the natural gate, and same for JYJ. He might be expecting the gateway first, so he might be expansion.
Yeah, we already saw, what was it? Derek play this map and went for that proxy Derek, and it ended up just backfiring completely against his opponent. I don't think that we're going to see that again.
Yeah, Barracks has gone with the 9 barracks in that game, and unfortunately Sins has gone with the natural gateway, and it looks like the game is going to be starting.
Yep, so this is the winner's match. Winner here makes it out. It is Best versus JYJ. Not played this map. I have looked at it quite a bit on Liquipedia, and the chokes everywhere, all over the map, are very, very tiny. And I feel like this is kind of a counter to what Best likes to do. He loves to attack all the time. If he goes into narrow chokes, a lot of his units are going to funnel up. and he will take a lot of damage to mines and never really have a good angle to attack from. So even though I kind of favor Best overall in PvT, I think I might...
Best is gonna go with Pylon Scout, and it will be a forward gate at the natural. And it looks like JYJ is not going to play with the natural wall. Just like Eclipse versus playing against Zerg on Eclipse Terran versus Zerg matchup, you can do 2 supply depot with the 1 barracks wall. And you can also do the same single barracks and have a complete wall and not letting any of the Zealot making it through. But it looks like JYJ is gonna build those barracks at his main base.
Yeah, so more than likely this is going to be 12 gas in his main, but yep, there it is.
Oh.
Of course, it doesn't have to be, because a lot of players like Light end up just building their barracks slightly forward, I guess to put a little bit pressure onto the Protoss if they do see a 12 Nexus. But here comes that probe. It is going to get a secondary scout and see that there is no forward depot, no forward racks, no command center.
It looks like JYJ has gone with the 11 refinery, so I'm not sure what he's gonna do with this opening. This is most likely gonna be a factory opening for JYJ, and as soon as Best sees this JYJ's refinery, he has to make a decision. He cannot, if he has gone with the forward gateway, he cannot go with the Zealot expansion against this factory expansion, because as soon as JYJ sees if it was a Zealot expansion,
So first Marine is out onto the map. It's going to push this probe back, going down, or is about to finish for Best. So he's actually going to have a Dragoon coming out pretty soon. Meanwhile, factory is about halfway done. We did see JYJ pulled off of gas as expected, so command center is going to be the follow-up. Still don't see a Zealot. It looks like he skipped it for now. Now, what is skipping range?
Yeah, he was most likely going to skip the range and have the Nexus has to make a decision here. It looks like he's going to be making a single Vulture. This is going to be the Vulture everything. He will be seeing that Nexus and Core was not spinning at the main base, and he will eventually save that SCV.
Yeah, so this is a nice opener from JYJ, skipping the bunker, only building 3 Marines. He's got a Vulture out, as you mentioned. It is going to go around the side. Marines are going to be sitting on this ledge, and this may be able to allow JYJ to save this SCV. You can see Best instantly turns around, and this is what I was looking to see if Protoss was going to do. His SimCity is set up where he can put down a pylon if he sees a Vulture. Let's see if that Vulture can skirt by. Right now, Best is looking. Oh, that Goon pops out just in the nick of time.
What happened to the first Zealot? I thought there was a first Zealot out on the map, but it looks like it may die to... I think it died to 3 Marines.
I don't think there was a Zealot built at any point. Those Marines have...
Oh, okay, so it looks like... Yeah, Best is gonna be constantly scouting with that one single probe, because he has sacrificed not making scouting whether JYJ is gonna go for timing attack or this is gonna be the Spider Mine with a couple more Vultures out on the map. And it looks like the Spider Mine research is now done, and JYJ is taking the 3rd command center here.
Yeah, the more I'm looking at this map, the more I really do like it for Terran, especially versus someone like Best, because he doesn't really go for carriers and abuse ledges like players like Snow do. So that's going to be a 3rd base up and running very quickly for JYJ in the next couple minutes. Now, that was an observatory, I think, for Best, so he's really not going to be able to punish this at all. However, because he's stuck on one factory, or JYJ stuck on one factory, and because he's opened Ultras for so long, if Best goes for something like a Zealot bomb with Goons followed up behind it, there's a real chance this 3rd base could be denied.
At the Ultimate Stream, it is easy to take the 3rd expansion, but at the same time, if Protoss has go with the shuttle opening and go for the harassment once again, just like the earlier game where we have seen Best versus Speed going for the Dark Temper drop, he could have done quite a lot of damage. But it looks like Best is just gonna go with the single observer and playing passive. Yeah.
Oh, there's a support bay. The more I keep looking at Best build, and because we didn't see a support bay for so long, and because we didn't see gateways, and because we saw 2nd gas at his natural, the more it was starting to look like that this could be potentially 2 base carriers. I love the mine and vulture placement all over the map, making sure that he's got vision of all the third bases, making sure that if a shuttle comes out, he's going to intercept it immediately. There's that armory, there's the second factory going up, and once Best comes in here and sees that the third base is up and running, he's going to be feeling pretty bad about his current situation. He really has to get something done with these Reavers, otherwise JYJ is going to start running away with this game very quickly.
Yeah, JYJ is pumping up lots of SCV with those 3 command center, and the supply count is gonna be even, but he has lost. Yeah, JYJ is finally having that armory at the main base.
Yeah, Best, even though he hasn't seen the third base, should know something is up now, because the armory not being done, the second factory also not being done, these are all tells that JYJ got away with something very sneaky. The only other option could be proxy starport somewhere, but I think that's quite unlikely. Academy just now going down. JYJ, because he's got all these resources, he should start plopping down a bunch of factories pretty soon. Meanwhile, third base still not started. There it is for Best. I'm surprised that this Reaver is so late. Usually it's out on the map at about 7 minutes.
Yeah, Best is playing really passive here. He has made those 2 or 3 observers before that, and finally taking out their Nexus at the 12 o'clock. But look at the supply count of JYJ. He's catching up really fast, just like how Protoss is trying to be max at a 12-minute mark.
Look at the SCV count. Like, he's perfectly saturated, it looks like, in his third base. Maybe he just needs 1 or 2 more across the board at each of his bases. And 3 base Terran with 3 gases. That is a super strong army. I would really hate my position if I was Best. Turret ring everywhere. He's got the first couple Goliaths moving out too. It looks like Best doesn't care about 1 turret. Oh, he does turn around, surprisingly. I think that is a smart move, because it would have been certain death for him. The observer did spot those units just sitting there and waiting, so nicely done from Best to not overextend there. Now, I'm curious whether there's Citadel or anything anywhere, because we see a lot of gateways going down, but really, you need tech versus what JYJ is going for.
I think that could be the one mistake by JYJ. He used the scan at the 5 o'clock. Maybe it was a mistake when he was clicking at the minimap, trying to use at the Best's main base, but it looks like JYJ... starport. Does he have a starport at the main base?
I didn't see a starport. It might be in that corner right behind the natural base. It looks separated from the factory, so I'm going to bet that that's probably a starport. Remember, his +1 kind of just started maybe about a minute ago, so he could be going for some type of 1-1 timing. Here comes that shuttle. It's not going to find any success. It does drop off 1 Zealot first and then the Reaver, and you can see that JYJ did start focusing down. There's also going to get taken out, and really this was not the greatest trade for Protoss. Sure, he gets 2 tanks, but he doesn't get anything else. Meanwhile, behind this, he's got 7 gate. I did see Arbiter Tribunal. There it is. Arbiter has not started just yet, but he is down, well, basically down in supply versus a Terran who's had their third base going for a long time. JYJ might be looking to put on a bit of pressure.
Well, JYJ is already at 120 supply count at 10-minute mark when Best is at 123 supply count. This is totally not looking great for a Protoss player, because usually when Protoss is starting to be maxed out, that's the time when Terran is starting to have about maybe 100 or 110 supply count. But this is an even supply count, and JYJ is already making a move. He's about to move out here.
He's ahead in supply, and he does have what seem to be 9 factories. I think Starport is probably here near the back of his main base, but there's a mine, and it does scout that there is an incoming counterattack, but I think JYJ might just give it up and just go for a base trade. Now, my personal experience of base trades versus Protoss never end well for me, especially when an Arbiter gets out onto the map. But you can see that Best realizes that, hey, this guy's had his third base up and running for a long time. This is a real threat. I need to deal with this. And JYJ has moved across the map completely. And as I said, the chokes are very small. If Protoss engages here, I'm not too sure if he's going to trade effectively. Siege mode is starting, or starting to go down from the... Oh, that's a huge hit on...
Yeah, those AFK Drugans were out of position, and looks like JYJ won that small victory at the battle there. And
I think this is over. There's just the goons. You can see how hard it is for them to get into a good position. He doesn't even take out a single tank in that engagement. Now JYJ is up 40 supply, and more units are just streaming across the map. You can see JYJ leaves one tank to defend that one choke. Arbiter's out, but you have to have actual units to deal with this Terran army, and this might be JYJ just going 2-0 through his group super fast.
Wow, what a great mind game with those mine into a third command center, and Best is completely behind of a supply count, and even though he got the Arbiter, he does not have much of an energy to use stasis field at that clumped up 5Cs tank, but will he be able to defend here?
He is going to lose a lot of tanks. This might be an overextension. He didn't get the Nexus either. Okay, he's going to sack those tanks to get the Nexus. Now, this is one of those trades where it can start snowballing back in Protoss' favor because he lost a lot of tanks just to get that one single Nexus. Sure, he killed a lot of goons in the initial attack, but I don't know if that was worth now because Protoss does have 4 bases. Oh, if he can intercept these probes, that would be definitely worth. There's so many being transferred there. Oh, he's going to get him.
He will be seeing it, and now probes are getting picked off. This is totally not looking great for Best. And now JYJ is also saturating that third expansion at the 6 o'clock, and the number of supply count is still ahead for JYJ.
Yeah, in this base, oh, I'm surprised that he didn't send all of his vultures up there to kill it. But it looks like he may be worried about a potential counterattack. Best is starting to move across the map. You can still see a 30 supply lead for our Terran player. Starport was done, +1 armor, but +2 weapons should be started pretty soon. Still a 30 supply lead for Terran though. You can see that the tank count is extremely low, as I mentioned before. JYJ overextending for that Nexus a little bit. But let's see if Best can really do anything to JYJ, because I feel like this is probably going to be his weakest moment with all those vultures overextended to top left. But he has 3 bases for now.
Yeah, it looks like JYJ's finally have that science facility being complete, and it looks like he's going to be preparing for those 2-1 upgrade all the way. And it looks like all those spider mines out on the map, he's still on a top spot. This is a 3 base Terran versus 3 base Protoss. This is not looking great for Best.
And nice mines going up to keep these Zealots and Goons at bay. JYJ is almost maxed, and that means more than likely his +2 weapon going to be kicking in pretty soon. He finds some more goons, trading vultures for goons. That's a pretty darn good trade. Now, what is scary for Terran is that the Arbiter count is sitting at 2 right now, maybe even 3. One of those Arbiters has been alive for a long time, so you know they've got multiple stasises available. First vessel is out. I don't think it has energy yet for EMP. Triple add-on for the factories, so JYJ is pumping out a lot of tanks. So he's gone from a low tank count to a relatively high tank count quite quickly, and he still denied that 4th base from Best for so long.
Yeah, Best really needs to take the 4th Nexus. JYJ is about to be maxed, and maybe in a couple or 1 or 2 minutes or so, he will be having that +2 with the +1 armor upgrade being complete. And yeah, I don't think Best can go for recall yet.
Yeah, there's also a ton of turrets set up in JYJ's main. Wow, he even wipes out the probe. So that's going to be another denial of the 4th base. Zealots versus Vultures. JYJ count. Trading some Vultures right there, freeing up a little bit of supply. Oh, nope, and also has a gas. So 4 base Terran on high ground.
Wow.
JYJ, even if he doesn't win here, he's just going to be in such a fantastic position.
Yeah, he can just drag the game longer and sit and just play slowly, even if he is now being complete. And yeah, probably the EMP research is also finished. Best really needs to use the stasis field really well here.
Oh, we've got flanking Protoss from all sides. This looks like an unstoppable Terran army. This is the engagement that you want as Protoss force Terran to fight uphill. Now that's not the stasis you want, because that's going to keep all the Protoss units from actually being able to get on top of those tanks. Damn, that wasn't even the entire army of JYJ. He's got more units ready and waiting, and this just looks unstoppable. I don't see any way how Best can actually kill this.
Yeah, looks like JYJ is throwing a couple of scans on the left and right and seeing where the big army is, and looks like
This is going to be a massacre. Tanks are sieging up those vultures that are stasis in the back, maybe taken out. Arbor on the left side is going to be taken out, but look at how much stuff JYJ has. Supplies are plummeting for Best. That's a great EMP. Hits so many of the goons and the zealots, and the tank count hasn't been hindered at all. A great defensive matrix in the front, and I don't think JYJ lost a single tank during that attack. Look at the supplies just decimated for Protoss, almost sub 100, and this is going to be JYJ, I think, just moving across the map to victory.
It looks like all those frosted vultures are now defrosted, and it looks like another kind of a center, I should say. JYJ is about to have the 5 base running soon, when Best is stuck at 3 base so long.
Yeah, this can't be stopped. A 70 supply lead, and Best taps out, and JYJ, in a bit of a shocker, he makes it out of the group, not just in second place, but he moves out in first place, besting out Best in our winners match.
Wow, Best is probably shocked with the number of I always know him as a macro god player, but he got, how should I say, out macro by JYJ.
Yeah, that was impressive, actually. Like, rarely in a game I've ever seen him play. He crushed Best. There was no point in that game where you were worried for Terran, except for maybe the potential counterattack that Protoss could have gone for. So JYJ proving that last season when he knocked out Bisu, no joke, and he's going to move on into the round of 16. Now I think we're going to be going into, we're probably going to have an interview, right? I think that's what they follow up with.
You're ready to be interviewed.
ASL 시즌 11 24강 C조 경기 함께하고 계십니다.
We're now watching ASL season 11 Group C. The first player who's advancing into round of 16 in Group C is JYJ. Congratulations.
지난 긴장감 이런 것들은 완벽하게 극복하신 것 같은데요. 좀 어떠신가요?
You have overcome of a offline stage experience.
커리어가 없기 때문에 좀 더 올라가야 되지 않나 싶네요.
JYJ sounds like the other players, but he really thinks he needs to climb up more and build up all those experience in the future games.
ASL 때도 재욱이 형한테 졌고 ASTL 때 성대한테 졌기 때문에
In previous ASL I lost to Best, and I also lost to Best in ASTL, which is Africa Star League Team League, beating Best in this group stage again.
올인하다시피 좀 진출 타이밍을 막는 듯한 모습이었는데 그때도 좀 흔들리거나 하진 않았나요?
When we looked at your timing, it looked like there's no backup plan when you're moving out, when you're lifting up your third command center. Were you prepared for this?
그래도 마지막에 베스트리 나오고
JYJ is answering that he was trying to tell his own SCV to build missile turrets, but the SCVs weren't listening. They were not building missile turrets. But Best was making more mistakes. Before we see your game, you said on an interview that you said you will play aggressive. But you did play aggressive in this game.
장윤철 선수가 추천한 빌드에서 좀 패배했던 이유는 뭐라고 생각하세요, 그러면?
I got an advice by Snow. Snow said, Snow recommended me to play aggressive in this round of 24 group stage. I usually do not listen to anyone base, and you decided to lift your command center.
그냥 싸워도 이길 것 같은데
I thought
이제 안 질 것 같다 생각하고 그냥
I thought all the circumstances and I was ahead in this game, so I thought I had a feeling to move out and have more army than he has.
인터뷰를 통해서도 말씀을 하셨습니다. 또 한 번 기대하게 만드는 정영재 선수의 오늘 경기가 아니었을까 싶은데요. 팬들에게도 들려주고 싶은 말씀이 있으실까요?
We would like to hear.
요새 너무 많이 져가지고.
We would like to hear any words towards to your fans.
이틀 동안 준비하면서 될까 싶었는데 이렇게 좋은 결과.
I did not prepare for a Zerg matchup, but I did play really well against Action today, and things were just working really well.
멋진 경기 기대하겠습니다. 인터뷰 고맙습니다.
감사합니다.
자, 이렇게 해서 16강에 가장 먼저 진출한 정영재 선수 만나봤고요. 저는 잠시 후에 두 번째 진출자와 함께 돌아오겠습니다.
Really nicely done. Congratulations to him. And now we're going to have Action versus Speed coming up. But first, we're going to go into a quick commercial, and then we'll figure out who's going to be eliminated from Group C. We are back, everybody. We just saw JYJ crush Best in the 16. Now we're going to be going into Ascension, and it's going to be Action going up against Speed, aka 10-Minute Flash.
Yeah, it looks like Action is going to be banning Hidden Track, and Speed is going to be banning Ultimate Stream. We'll be playing Ascension. Ascension is a 3-player map. It has a bit of a concept just like Bluestorm. There's a 2-path that, or the wide path, and there's a lot of strategies can be done by both players.
Yeah, with so many viable paths, just looking at how many actual paths there are, that could be a viable build.
If I remember correctly, when I watched all those Spawn games, I should say Spawn matches, quite a lot of parent players were doing 2 racks with the 1 supply depot wall, but I wonder how Action is going to be answering to Speed's opening in this Ascension map.
Yeah, so let's see who's going to be eliminated from Group C. Surprisingly, it's Action down in the losers match. It's best of 1. So it's a very ruthless style. And then winner's going to be going up against Best. And that's going to be a very, very hard deciders match. So let's see who's going to be eliminated. It's going to be Ascension, Speed. In the bottom right in the pink, we have our KT Rolster Zerg. It is Action. And in the top middle, our amateur player, it is Speed. Now, I was looking at the map on Liquipedia as we were talking about it. What do you think about Mech on here? Because these bases seem relatively close for Terran, and Terran that can just sit on 4 or 5 bases, I mean, they're going to trade so effectively versus Zerg that could be a viable strategy, I would imagine.
Yeah, it could be done so many various of opening for Terran. Looks, if I remember correctly, I heard that Ascension at 12 o'clock spawning location, I heard you cannot make a wall at the natural, just like the other maps where you can wall off. But let's see how Speed is gonna go with. He's not building any.
And as you mentioned, Vulture Drop also a viable build. Like almost any other gas timing, the Vulture Drop. Even though I like 2-port Wraith, I'm gonna go with Vulture Drop as the build. Now, this having 3 hatches, you know, compared to 2 hatch play here, is this a better opener versus Vultures or Wraiths, or would you have preferred to have Lair as
standard? But Speed has gone with a mech opening, 1 base mech. He's not cutting any gas. I have a feeling he will go with the 2-star port here.
Yeah, this really does look like 2-star port play. Now, because the Lair is delayed for so long, more than likely this is just going to be Hydra opener from Action, and just Speed and range Hydras are going to be dishing out a lot of damage, and obviously they're going to be crushing through Wraiths as soon as they see them. So I'm a bit worried for 10-minute flash. Like 12 gas, I would have liked it more because he'd have more econ, but because this is a 10, this drone micro, absolutely absurd.
Wow, what a great mic. The natural, but that's always standard. But the best answer for the Terran's opening against the 3 hatchery is going with 1-1-1. But he has to guess. He does not know this is a 3 hatchery opening, so he will be going with a 1 base 2-star port. And
look at this timing. Just barely in the nick of time, and even takes the first hit on the Vulture without even attempting a run by. So now he definitely can't do a run by. First couple Wraiths are being built. You can see that Speed was supply blocked for just a moment, so the second Wraith is going to be delayed a little bit. Meanwhile, Overlord is kind of scouting around. He doesn't
starport making a Wraith at the main base. Yeah, Action is going to be totally satisfied with this mind game in the beginning. Speed is definitely not happy with this.
Yeah, Action is in a phenomenal position. Lurk or Hydrogen is going up. Evolution Chamber and Spore Colonies are also being built. Action's econ is fantastic, of course, because he has the 3 hatch production. He can pump out so many drones, so many Hydralisks too. Looks like a second Overlord will be picked off, but it's still just fine for Action. Maybe a drone will go down. Okay, it doesn't even fall. Spore colony might get up in time before even losing a single drone. How are these drones not dying? Okay, there's one.
Hero really needs to do some damage here, but all those drone count with those 3 hatchery pumping out lots of units from those larvae, and I wonder. Yeah, probably Speed probably thought this.
Oh no! Did you see that?
What happened?
I think there's 2 SCVs stuck for Speed behind his mineral line between the T.
I think one of the SCV will be used for stacking all those raids, but as soon as he sees, he's gonna be constantly behind with this economy. As soon as he saw this 3 hatchery, the best in the command center after making a couple of raids without cloak, but he's not making any command center. He's constantly making raids.
Yeah, and it looks like Speed doesn't realize there's one Wraith that's just sitting on. Now, Wraiths do have slightly more range than a Hydralisk, so he can fight Hydras and take no damage, but of course he would have to have absolutely perfect micro to be doing that. You can see that there is that one little dot to the left side of that 3rd hatch that is a Wraith. It looks like he's now just found it, I think. Yeah, now he's found it. So now he should be able to one-shot these drones. The drone's got to be a little bit more careful now.
Yeah, Speed is really now stuck at 1 base. He could have taken that second command center being started, but he's making a lot of raids, and oh my god.
He loses 1 Wraith there, so expensive, 150 and 100 gas. You cannot afford to lose any Wraiths. He's pumping out tanks too. I was expecting him to just go into like 3 racks bio with +1 weapon, but instead he's going to be pumping out tanks with it too. So if Action stays on pure Hydra, he might be in a bit of trouble. I don't see a 3rd base anywhere for Action. Of course, he's not able to do that because the Wraiths... Oh, he is taking top right. Looks like Overlord's going to sack itself to see exactly what's going on. More drones are going to be falling.
Yeah, if Speed has done with the couple of raids with the expansion, he could have been fine and catching up with the economy and have those science vessels ready. But now Action is preparing for those. Action has built that evolution chamber with the spore colony. Probably the +1 armor carapace is also on the way, and when...
Well, I'm surprised that that's a command center and not more barracks, so instead of going for a killing move. Now that hatchery might be overextended.
Oh no! Oh, those expensive raids are getting picked off, and now the Overlord is now seeing at Speed's main base. And it looks like... Yeah, I don't see how Speed is gonna be making any comeback here. He has not done any damage.
Yeah, second evolution chamber is going up, so it's going to be Hydra, Lurker, Defiler, more than likely. Second factory going down. I really did think we might see a factory type play before the game started, but as the game's been playing out, I am quite surprised by this follow-up. Wraiths are going to try and find some damage. Maybe he picks off. Okay, he gets a drone kill, but really not the damage that Speed was looking for this game. He's going to... Wow, he turns on a dime and pops that Overlord, but he looks like he lost 2 Wraiths for that. So not the trade he was looking for. Now when he comes in here and sees that the Hive's done, he's not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, as soon as Action has that second evolution chamber, that means +1 carapace is done. And once again, losing that Wraith, important Wraiths getting picked up by the Hydralisk. And as soon as Speed has seen all those economy of Action and how much of a drone he has, he figured out that he cannot play M&M, he cannot switch to Marine Medics into Science Vessel, so he is going to be switching into Mech here. And Action is just constantly pumping out drones. Looks like this is just like what is it, Zerg versus Protoss matchup, how they're just defending all those Corsairs into Hydralisk defense.
Yeah, and this is a good read from Action, knowing that the barracks count was very low. He knows that he can power, whether it's Marines or a factory follow-up, drones, and getting more bases will be just fine. That's the Academy coming down, so if there was like a Lurker attack, he wouldn't have been able to stop it at all, except for the initial shots with his tanks. Mostly what I'm worried about is the fact that Zerg is going to be at 2-1 before Terran even has a single mech upgrade. I'm not too sure if we've even seen the armory be completed just yet.
Yeah, I don't think he has the armory or whatsoever, but look at the number of a worker and the supply count. Usually when we watch Terran versus Zerg matchup, the Zerg is always behind a worker count and the supply count as well, but both of the players' supply count is about even and trying to do some damage, but Wraith is not as good as Mutalisk. They don't kill, they don't do any splash damage on a unit. Oh no.
Yeah, but the Wraiths are stuck, and he just trades all of his Wraiths really for maybe something like 8 drones. Not what you want, especially when you're playing mech, because if the player ever switches into Queens, Wraiths are pretty darn good versus Queens. So I think that was a big misstep from Speed to just sack Lift at the same time. Now Action can't just go ahead and kill Speed right now, so he's going to be obligated to just let Speed try and split the map for now. But since Zerg has Speed on his Overlord, something like a drop with the Filers would be game ending because there's no vessels out.
Yeah, some of the Vultures are trying to do some damage, but there's going to be one Darkstorm.
Is that it? That what's going? Oh, there's the Filer.
Yeah, the main base is so wide open to defend all those drop harassment, and it looks like the single lurker with the Darkstorm and another Darkstorm and a single lurker will be buying
to these lurkers, other than tanks splashing their own units trying to get the splash to kill that lurker. So really nicely done from Action to just 30 to 45 seconds. You can see that Speed's desperate. He's trying to set up mines. Luckily for him, it was a tiny drop, only a handful of lurkers.
Oh my god!
2 tanks.
Yeah, I think there was like more than 2 tanks, but it got blown up by how I don't know how Speed is gonna be making this.
Okay, I thought he was gonna have a bigger drop than that and be able to kill the armory. This just be endless drops all game long. As I said, there's no vessels, so there's literally no counter to the Lings and the lurkers under Darkstorm. I'm surprised that Action doesn't do a bigger drop, but look at how effective even a small drop is. He's killing T-foes left and right. Now lurkers are in the natural mineral line.
Yeah, Speed knows that he is behind of this game, but he's trying to make some comeback here because oh no, that's gonna be the GG by Speed.
Yeah, and 10-minute flash, he just taps out. It was too much from Action. Unfortunately, his 10-10-10 didn't do the damage that he needed in the early stages of the game. I think if he had have gone for a normal 12 gas and transitioned into what he was doing, he would have been okay, because he would have had much better econ in the early stages. But when you go for something like 10-10-10, you have to deal damage. Like, you cannot afford to let Zerg get away with 3-hatch and just drone forever. So unfortunately, just kind of, I'm not going to say it's a build order loss, of course, but not working out in his favor for sure. And that's going to be Action moving into the Deciders match, going up against Best. Who do you got in this match? Do you think Action can do it, or is Best going to get
the Decider match?
Yeah.
I've been casting lots of StarCast TV replays, and I've seen Actions playing versus Protoss is absolutely make a lot of Hydralisk and constant. Okay, looks like we're gonna be moving into a commercial break here.
올리브유
back, and this is going to be the final match of the day. It's going to be Action versus Best. We already saw JYJ plow through his group very easily, and unfortunately, 10-minute flash, he's going to be eliminated first out of this group. His 10-10-10 build really didn't work out, and now the final match is going to be decided on Polypore, the madness of his CVP.
I was mentioning that other Zerg players, they like to play aggressive with the Hydralisk, and usually try to make all those game decision, like which race has the favor of the match with the Hydralisk movement. But Action, he likes to go with Middleist and Scourges. He likes to play a bit passive, and he likes to have 3 Evolution Chamber and switch to Hype Tag really fast.
3 Evolution count, we saw, or heavy Ling and heavy upgrades is a Hydra Man, so I hope that Action goes for that style that you're talking about. But this is the either Action or Best moving on into the round of 16. In the bottom left, our white Zerg player. It is Action. It is Best.
It looks like Action is sending out that overlord direction towards the 5 o'clock. He's having a lucky scout here, even though this is a final game for the both players. And I wonder Best is gonna go with the gateway opening here.
Yeah, I imagine that this is probably going to be a gateway opener, but we could see a Forge opener from Best. We could also see a very, very fast Nexus opener, something like 12 Nexus or even 11 Nexus. Now, I've watched Best stream quite a bit, and I know he is one of those players that experiments with tons of builds. Like he was one of the first players to be using Dark Archon. So I wonder if he has something special for this particular matchup. I know even in PvT, I've seen him play Corsairs with Disruption Web. So it would be nice to see if he has something special planned. We already saw Sins pull out that crazy 2 Robo build. So we'll see what Best has up his sleeve. Looks like Action. I don't see an overpull. I don't see a 9 pull. Oh, look at this probe. He spotted the creep.
Yeah, it looks like he spotted the creep. And compared to the other products where they like to go with the gateway opening, and we have seen previous ASL group A round of 24 that Sins was playing gateway opening into an expansion, but Best is gonna be doing opposite. He's gonna be doing Pylon Scout and forcing Action to make that spawning pool, and Best will be going for the Nexus first here.
Yeah, I love what Best did there. Is he waited until he knew that obligated to put down that pull, and now he's going to get up a free 12 Nexus with minimal defense while also blocking this hatchery. This is amazing from Best. Okay, it actually didn't get delayed that long, so not bad from Action to salvage the initial openers. Now in response, Forge is coming down before the gateway.
Yeah, Action was planning to go with the 12 hatchery opening, but what that lucky probe scout by Best that actually denied that 12 hatchery opening and forcing Action to go with 12 spawning pool. And it's kind of like a between, like if I have to make an example, you know how Terran players usually like to go with either factory expansion or Rex expansion with the gasless. It's kind of like a between of Rax with the refinery expansion versus Protoss. For this Zerg versus Protoss matchup, he has gone with the 12 spawning pool here.
Yeah, more middle of the road for our Zerg player. Now that was a 235 gas, pretty typical for Zerg, so more than likely this is going to be a lair follow-up from Action. Now what is that drone doing? I thought
that was a miss rally by Action. Action really needs to pay attention. This is a final game for both players.
Yeah, he cannot afford to lose simply because he has like an idle drone somewhere that he doesn't realize. Meanwhile, Best, because he ended up getting the Forge first, his tech is going to be a little slightly slower than he wants. Is that just a miss rally? That's the second time I see a drone up there. Yeah. I'm really hoping that Action fixes that rally point, because every drone is so critical, obviously. Probe is doing a really good job scouting, making sure that there's no 973 going on and that lair is going to complete, and he wants to see that Spire get plopped down.
looks like Action is waiting until that how should I say, the vision gets cleared. Maybe I thought I was gonna be going with the Hydralisk then, and can go with the pure standard Spire and making Scourges to defend out of Corsair Scout into maybe 3 base Mutalisk into Scourges switches and going with the 3 Evolution Chamber. I have a feeling that he's gonna do that build in this game.
Yeah, and because you mentioned Action loves for that Mutalisk play, that I was paying close attention to whether Best was going to go for double Stargate. We do see 1 Stargate plop down, but then he instantly spent 100 gas, and that's going to be Citadel. So this looks pretty normal. The Citadel is quite fast, though, so more than likely that this is going to be a fast DT follow-up. I guess, of course, there could be a second gate being put down pretty quickly, and we may see something like a Zealot Archon combo with the Corsair, but I think that's a bit unlikely. Second cannon going down, make sure he doesn't want to die. Now that's a bit surprising. There's no Forge upgrades.
Yeah, if there's no Forge upgrade being spinning, like Forge is not spinning, that means he's spending all those or super fast Templar Archive. And looks like this is gonna be the Corsair into a DT switch, where Bisu made that strategy in the past.
Yeah, so Forge just 8:15. I guess that means that Best is not looking to get aggressive at that typical 7:30 timing. So Action, I'm sure, has noticed that with the Forge spinning. Surprising, and he should realize that, hey, Action kind of powered a bit more than I was expecting. So for now, really Best can't do much. He's not going to lose.
Best has scouted, and he collected all those information. He saw the Hydralisk then, and he also saw the second extractor was complete at Action's natural, so that means this is most likely going to be a 5 hatchery with...
Now that is a decent amount of gateways going up. 645 or 650 they should be completing, and the DT is out. The DT does spot some units moving to the 3rd base, but already more Hydras are sitting there and waiting, so it's going to be denied. As I mentioned, +1 is going to complete around 8:15, and you can see that this gateway timing is pretty nicely aligned. Probably 2 cycles of Zealots, and then Best may end up going. Looks like that's the 6th hatch being put down for Action, so his macro's already in full force. I saw the Evolution Chamber up there too, so he's going to be matching the weapon upgrades of Protoss.
Yeah, I thought Action was going to go with the 5 hatchery timing attack with those Hydralisks with the natural. He might have changed his plan, and he's building all those additional hatchery and maybe a couple more drones. Oh, it looks like, yeah, the speed oval is now done, and Dark Templar might not get picked up.
Yeah, just barely he gets away. Now those Zealots do not have speed. I think speed should be kicking in pretty soon because, as I said, the +1 weapon upgrade is going to be completing momentarily. So you know that Best really wants to align with that upgrade. Looks like they were in themselves. So this is a dangerous situation for Action. Looks like a Sunken is going up just in the nick of time. I don't think that really... Well, that's not that many...
Interesting to see a couple of Hydralisks are standing at the ramp, and maybe it could be the best way of defending those Zealot aggression on the ramp. And it looks like there are 4 Templars are being made, and finally the robotic facilities are now on the way. And I think this is gonna be... I think Best is not gonna take the 3rd game, or he can just go for the timing attack soon.
Yeah, but this is a nice read from Best because typically Robo goes down around 9 minutes, but it looks like it's going to complete basically at 9 minutes. So he knows that this is going to be a Hydra Lurker contain from Action, so he needs to get out those observers ASAP. Looks like he's going to find a couple Overlords, but the Hydras instantly turn around and end up saving the day. Meanwhile, these 2 Lurkers have moved across, and this is going to be annoying. He may end up getting that Forge, or at least bait out a couple of those storms. 2 Overlords do fall, so that's going to supply Action for quite a bit, and that's going to punish him, and he may actually never get this contain up and running that he wants.
It looks like Best is going to be staying. It looks like he has about 8 gateway at the main base. Yeah,
I think he's going to get this Forge.
Yeah, it looks like the Forge is... For that, looks like there's going to be a single Dark Templar drop inside of a...
That upgrade did not complete. DT is going to be in the main while all of this going...
To defend this. We'll go down, yeah.
Now with so many Hydras in the main, you would think that maybe that would trigger an attack from Protoss, but instead, he's kind of a bit slow on the gun and has opted just to go for a third Nexus. Look at this Lurker contain on the high ground. I don't think that Protoss is going to have much success, but he does have a 30 supply lead, so let's see what he can do with these Goons and Templars.
The range is done for Protoss, but I don't think it's a good choice to break this high ground.
Oh, but those Storms are pretty good in the action. Misclicking didn't get really any of the Templars before they casted the Storm. Now he gets one. Oh my god, those Zealots are just Ramboing in, and all the Zealots melt, but the Goons are still alive, and there's no Hydras supporting this, so it looks like Best might actually be able to bust through, but more Hydras are coming in to support these couple Lurkers in the back line.
And it looks like he will be able to defend this. Sunken Colony, they are such a strong unit.
Might have been a little bit too aggressive from Best because he had a decent amount of Zealots, but a few of those Lurker spines. Third base is up and running for Best. I'm sure he's going to start expanding to mid-right pretty soon, may even start thinking about taking top right edge for Zerg in the next couple minutes. As you mentioned, Action loves to go for that fast hive, and it looks like it's already partially along the way.
Yeah, finally, Action is saturating this mineral expansion with the two Sunken Colonies defending, and Best is not having such a great upgrade. It has been about 30 minutes long.
Be at +1, that's really, really unfortunate. I think Zerg is probably at +2 weapon himself on the Hydralisk. Fourth base being taken at bot, sitting on the lower side of the map, just making sure that Zerg can't be aggressive themselves. Also, with vision onto that third base, he can storm the drones, and that looks like exactly what he's going to try and do.
Oh! Okay. What a great response of Action's timing. And it looks like, yeah, one of the observers just died once again, and Best is now slowly saturating this fourth expansion at the 6 o'clock. But then wait how Action is going to be making all those decision making. It looks like he's 11 o'clock and take the high ground and start morphing that hatchery at the 11 o'clock side, but he couldn't make that happen. One Lurker.
Best didn't just instantly counterattack, knowing that so much of the army was played. Action, if he can get a drone up the top left, will begin to start splitting it. Looks like a drone is, oh no, he's just going to build another Sunken. Meanwhile, fifth base is going up for Best.
This game is going... Oh no, I lost connection.
Oh, you're back now.
Hello, hello. Am I connected?
Hello. Yeah.
I'm not sure what's wrong with the internet today.
Well, as I was mentioning, Best does have a fifth base going up, and it's going to be saturated pretty soon. Meanwhile, Zerg does have Hive complete, and those powerful upgrades should be kicking in momentarily. It looks like these Goons are going to get caught before it should be upgrade advantage for Zerg, so that's not where you want to be as Protoss. But look at this, just minimal defense denying the split map scenario for so long.
Yeah, the number of Zerglings are going to be swapping left and right.
Oh.
And, ooh, the storm. That was such a great storm by Best, but just by looking at the supply count, they're about even. 164 versus 180 supply. He can start moving. He can start moving out and start doing some damage. And what are those two overs doing over there?
I don't know what that was. Looked like it may have been a misclicked drop. But I did notice that the drone got to top left. That's a hatchery going down at the natural in that position. Yet
oh, he saw it.
Yeah, he got one of the shuttles, but more attack top left, drawing all the units out of position of action. This is a great move from Best.
Looks like all those drones are not... Okay, looks like one play be able to break this side.
He has so many storms, I think for sure he can plow through all these.
The Adrenaline Zerglings will be defending these Protoss army easily at the top side, but I don't know. I think Best might have made a mistake here because he army. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, he gets a lot of drones, but his army comp is really not that good. It's pure Zealot with a Reaver, and that's it.
Oh, finally now he's pumping out a couple more Dragoons, and it could be no. I don't see. Yeah, Best is now saturating that third o'clock expansion, the 5th base now, and Action is slowly restoring all those number of workers that he lost by the storm drop earlier, and he's also slowly stabilizing that 11 o'clock expansion with the number of lurkers, with the overlords we can only harass.
Yeah, the Corsairs are going to find a couple of Overlords, but not enough Corsairs for them to be especially dangerous. Yeah, Plague, that's somehow and taken out. Meanwhile, there is more action on the top left side of the map, but Action has his side basically secured. So at this stage in the game, especially wants to get Plague.
Finally, the two Reaver with the speed shuttle is trying to break this high ground, but there's a lot of lurkers. There's all those reinforcements now coming. I think they're gonna be clearing all those Protoss army, but
all of the Zealots, as you mentioned, just got completely wiped off the map in Act 30. But Action with his 6 bases up and running, he's still good to go. Meanwhile, Best is starting to take top right. His upgrades are looking pretty good for how the game started out initially for him. I think he's at 311 right now, but he's got to get up a better comp.
Yeah, 311 upgrade for Best. This is looking great for the late game, but it is meaningless expansion. Best really needs to make a decision making. He needs to either win the battle at the center of the map and slowly crashing each expansions, but looks like Best is going to be making...
Templar drop gets a couple drones, and now he might get a couple of Hydras. So more Templars, that's exactly what Best needs. You saw how fast those Zealots died to those Lurkers, especially after they were plagued. I'm liking the unit comp from Best a little bit more this time around. But Action, he's just airtight everywhere. Best really can't attack any single base. We may end up seeing one of those super units come out like an Arbiter for Best, and we might see a recall somewhere.
Yeah, right now both of the supply count is even, and Action is slow. Not much of an army for Action here.
Yeah, Action's army, I thought, was just going to easily swamp
that.
Oh, no! Oh, a counter drop at top right. That's going to wipe out this base. Almost wiped out for him. Mid right wasn't saturated for a long time. Bottom middle may be close to being mined out pretty soon too. So really nicely done. But Action loses mid left, but the build. Oh no, he can't actually. He's kind of broke.
Yeah, Action somehow lost quite a lot of drones somewhere, and not having much of a mineral left, but. I'm not sure where are they going crazy, and those reinforcements with the 322 upgrade Zealot. There's lots of lings.
That Reaver shot from downtown wipes out so many lings. It has 34 kills, another great storm, more Archons being morphed, but the lings are just endless. And it looks like Action may barely hold on. It's 105 supply for Best, while it's only 90 for Action right now.
Oh no. And there's gonna be another Dark Templar drop at the 11 o'clock and denying the expansion.
Oh, there's no Overlord! And this base is gonna get ransacked by that Zealot Reaver Archon comp that's at the mineral only is still a big threat.
For Best, 177. He is constantly being maxed out, and that's gonna be the GG by Action.
Wow, nicely done from Best. I thought once Action got top left, all up and running, it was going to start looking very, very dangerous for our Protoss player, but he found the one moment where Action was completely out of position, wiping all those hatches at mid left, and then those Reaver shots. That one Reaver had like in the end game stages, and Best, he's going to wipe out, or he's going to eliminate Action in the round of 24.
Wow. It is a bit unexpected to see Action getting eliminated in here. He's very disappointed of his mistake somewhere.
Yeah, you know for sure that Action is not happy in the round of 24 is quite surprising. What's more surprising that JYJ made it out in first place. But now I think we're going to go into an interview with our second place finisher, Best.
ASL 시즌 11 24강 C조 경기 모두 함께 하셨습니다. 두 번째
So we're
진출자는
now
고재욱
finished with the
선수인데요. 이야기
ASL Season
나눠보겠습니다.
11 Group C.
축하드립니다.
아, 감사합니다.
And we'll be
와, 사실
interviewing.
인터뷰할 때 경기 전에 좀 자신이
Second player was
어떠한지 들어볼까요?
How do you feel advancing into round of 16?
처음 봤을 때 뭔가 좀
When I looked at the group
생각을 했고,
stage,
그리고 이번에 제가 약간 좀 제 실력적으로 자신이 없었어요. 그래서
I did not have much of a
쉽지
confidence
않겠구나
to
생각했는데 실제로 쉽지 않게 끌어올려서 좋은 모습 보여드려야 될 것 같아요.
이영웅 선수와의 첫 번째 경기는 굉장히 스무스하게 승리를 거두셨는데 아무래도 좀 정영재 선수와의 승자전이 마음에 남으실 것 같아요.
this match when you were playing against JYJ.
JYJ
JYJ started with the mine.
저번 태경이는
3.
굉장히 그래서 이제 꼭 누가 최종전 가든 올라가다
You probably were not satisfied with the gameplay. I was friends with JYJ, so we don't really hate each other. We're really good. He deserves to advance into round of 16 earlier than I have done.
해도 1시에 드랍이 와서 멀티 교환이 돼가지고 약간 좀 잘못하면 지겠다 생각했어요. 왜냐면 이런 식으로
I was dropping at 11 o'clock.
상대가 병력이 없는 거예요. 그래서 아 이거 이겼다라고 그때 생각을 했어요.
At 11
되지
o'clock,
않았나 하는 생각이 드는데
I slowly
이제부터 또 달리셔야죠.
figured out that action did not well.
기대는 하고 있어요.
네, 다시 한번 김성대 선수를 상대로 승리를 거두면서 상대 전적에 좀 더 벌어졌어요. 16강에선 좀 어떤 종족과 같은
The score
듀오가
between you and Action is now
전반적으로 타종족전이 좀 힘들더라고요.
2-0. The gap is gonna be slowly getting bigger and bigger between you guys.
그냥 상대가 오다가 사고 나서 안 왔으면 좋겠어요. 무조건 올라갔으면 좋겠어요.
24강을 통해서 16강에 진출한 첫 프로
Bess is really talking really fast. I cannot really make the progress in my head. But I think Bess was mentioning that he does not want to see any tough players in tough players in his group for the round of
제가
16.
처음으로 올라갔으니까 신종각도 한번 잘해보도록 해보겠습니다.
네, 다시 한번 진출 축하드리고요. 인터뷰 고맙습니다.
감사합니다.
자, 이렇게 해서
So he said he will do best in the
24강
round of
진출한
16.
도재욱
once
선수와
again.
함께
It
인터뷰
looks like we're gonna be
나눴습니다.
ending the interview here.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that interview. So far. Of course, you can see that the seeded players, 3 of them are already Zerg, but the Terrans so far in the round of 24 have been doing really well. We're getting a look at the games tomorrow. It's going to be Snow versus yours truly in Scan in match 1, and then it's going to be Shuttle versus Sock. So back-to-back PVTs tomorrow in Group D, and that should be a really, really exciting group. Now, you were telling me that you're really only worried about Snow. As you've been playing the maps more and more, is that still true? Do you think that you're still confident playing versus Shuttle and Sock?
I've been practicing quite a lot of games recently, and the more I practice, I slowly have less confidence recently because my practice partner is slowly like countering against all of my strategies that I'm trying to be used in the round of 24 group stage. I know that Shuttle and Snow does not know my playstyle, but I just don't know anymore because my partner is just constantly countering against it.
Yeah, I think versus Snow, that's going to be a very hard matchup. He plays the style that I just hate. It feels like if you ever get behind versus him, he's going to be...
Did I lose connection again? Hello, hello. No, I lost connection. Hello, hello.
Hope you're back.
No, this is not working really well today.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is. Yeah, so as I was saying, your matchup versus Snow, I agree. That's going to be just the hardest match for you because Snow just plays such a punishing style. If you're ever behind versus him, he's going to go into those powerful carriers and kind of just snowball the game extremely fast. If you make it past Snow, I think for sure you can make it out in first place. Shuttle and Sock are definitely a tier below Snow. So I'm agreeing with your analysis there. Mostly, I'm interested to see you versus Sock if that matchup ever happens, because I haven't seen Sock's TVT, but people have been telling me that it's surprisingly strong.
In the previous tournament, before ASL was getting popular, there was a Savannah Star League, and Sock has won that tournament. There was a 4 Terran in the semifinal and in that season. And I think it was a Sock versus Last for the final. And you know how Last is so great in all matchups, and Terran versus Zerg, Terran versus Terran, or Terran versus Protoss. And Sock just beat him really hard in that tournament.
Yeah, we'll have to see how well Sock will be able to perform on Tuesday. Kind of rooting for a Protoss to make it out simply because we only have one so far. It looks like that's going to be the end of today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely tune in on Tuesday because we want to see Scan make it into the round of 16. So good luck, dude. Definitely want to see you make it through. You've got some tough matches, but I believe in you. So hopefully we'll see you in the round of 16. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. And definitely I will be here on Tuesday. So I'm going to probably find a co-caster for me too.